Welcome to this video. In this video, I want to talk about SAP FICO validation and substitution. You should definitely be aware of validation and substitution because there you have a lot of great functionalities. So enjoy this video and let's get started. So basically, as mentioned, you have two great concepts within SAP FI and CO, and they are validations and substitutions. So in general, a validation is basically a check. If to explain you this briefly, I will go into detail in a couple of minutes, of course, but to explain you it briefly, I would like to open up a transaction code OB28. And within here, we have already created one validation with one step. So basically, a validation executes a check, and if the check is false, then basically it, depending on your message that you like to, outputs a message and probably blocks the further processing. So therefore, with validation, you guarantee that you don't that you don't allow any input by the SAP user, him or herself, and maybe that you give him or her a warning, an information, or an error message. So you can use in different areas, and therefore their validations are really great. Compared to validations, you also have the so-called substitutions. Within here, I have already created one substitution and almost same procedure like for the validation, but basically a substitution replaces a value. It maybe substitutes a value or it just simply sets a value. So substitutions can be used in order to automatically fill needed information to substitute information. And you can use validations and substitutions in different areas. And I'd like to first of all explain you the validations in more detail, and then I will go to the substitutions. So first of all, let's move back to the OB28, because within the OB28 you basically can maintain the validation of accounting documents. So they're almost simply the same. Compared to the OB28, you can also use the OKC7. Therefore, you can use the SAP CO validations, so based on a controlling area. But to explain you it more closely, I would like to explain it to you on the OB28. It's important to know that for in general, doesn't matter if you're using as FI or CO validations, you have to link your validation to one company code or controlling area and one calling point or one event. And I think company code is kind of like obvious, but for the calling point, I use the F4 help right now. You can decide between three different calling points. So the document header, the line item, and the complete document. And you have, or you should be aware that basically a validation is executed on an area, so basically where, then when, so the calling point, so when should the validation be executed, so when, for example, the document header data has been entered, the line item data, or for the complete document. Then you should make a little definition. So what should be validated, what should be checked. Then the assignment of the organizational unit. So basically on what kind of information would you like to execute the validation and the activation itself. So you should be aware of those three calling points. Then also really important is the activation level, because you can decide between 3 different activation level. If you leave it blank, empty, or for example activation level 0, then the validation is inactive. If you set it to 1, that it is active, then it will be used. And if you set it to 2, then it's active, but it won't be executed in batch input. So, and therefore, first of all, you have to create one entry, and then under environment and validation, you can basically maintain your validation. Or because I have already created one, I can show you this. I double click, so I go into the detailed information, and it's important to know that a validation at least has to have one step. So it consists at least of one step, and a step consists of a prerequisite, a check, and a message. And within here, you have to to know that basically, first of all, the prerequisite is executed. So there we go to the prerequisite. Here you have some kind of editor, and here you can switch between the technical information, just the description. You have also some rules, some exits if they are available. But here for the table fields, there you can, for the line item, for the calling point 2, for the line item, decide between 3 different tables. And therefore, if you double click, then you see the available technical fields that can be used within the editor. By the way, for example, if you would like to use the export mode for the editor, then under settings and export mode, you can also switch to the export mode, or you can switch back to just the description under settings. And here basically, you can just by double click take over the information into the editor. You can use some different operators, and you can use some operands. So for example, if you, as here, we would like to check the customer in a different set, and the set can be maintained in the transaction code GS01. So therefore you can create a set in the transaction GS02. You can basically change a set. So for example, within here you can see or change the information, and with GS03 you can just display the set. So therefore you can maintain the sets with, or if you want to, you can also enter single values and use the corresponding operators. And within the status, you see if the syntax within the editor is correct, if it's false, or if it's incomplete. And if the prerequisite is met, then basically a check will be executed. And here you have to note that the check has to be false to output the message. So if the check is true, then the message won't be output and won't maybe block the further processing. So in this case, I have a prerequisite based on a specific customer in the SAP FI validation, and if this customer is entered, then basically this check has to be false to output the message, and it's then false when you enter the special GL indicator A. So if it's unequal to A, then it's true and the message won't be output, but if it's A, then it's false, and then the output, the message will be output. So, and within the message, basically here you have some information for the message class. Within the maintain messages, you can you can make any changes to the messages, and here you can as well use placeholders, variables. You can also trigger a workflow if you want to, as you want to. If we go to the validation, then under, okay, you have to go to the whole line item, the calling point, because under environment, there you can change the whole message class. Because as we see right now here, okay, you can't see it, but within here, the message class is used, and here you can just maintain the message class. You can't change the message class itself, and therefore you have to go to the line items or to the calling point, and under environment and change message class. There you can change the message class, and there first of all you have to enter the Boolean class, the old message class, and the new message class that should replace the old one. First of all, I can recommend to run a test run before run it in productive. And how to get the Boolean class, once again under environment directory, we execute this. Here you see the Boolean class that you can enter in the report. So then we're going a couple of steps back, but yeah, basically then if you maintain this, then we're going to the validation, and then under validation and simulate, and there you can basically simulate your validation. So therefore, for example, you can enter a customer, a special GL indicator, execute it, and here now you can see what happens. So the condition is true, I entered a specific customer, the check is false, and therefore the message will be output. And in our case, maybe you've seen this, it's the message type is E. You can also enter A for canceling, W for warning, and I for information, but E is blocking for the processing. So yeah, you have to resolve the error in order to continue processing. Yeah, and basically, as mentioned, you have a lot of areas available. We're moving to the GGB0 because within here you can see basically the application areas. So therefore, the asset accounting AM, the CO cost accounting, SAP consolidation, financial accounting, and so on. And therefore, you will see all the validations that are being used. And by the way, for the OB28, for the OKC7, and for the GGB0, you will always have a nice explanation about the functionalities about validation. And therefore, yeah, you can have a closer look because within here, very important information are described in detail. So, and compared to the validation, we're moving over to the substitution. So we open up the transaction code OBBH. That's the transaction code for the SAP FI validate substitution. And if you open up the OKC9 transaction code, that's the transaction code for the SAP CO substitution. So moving back to the OBBH. I've already prepared one. So here the same procedure. Maybe we go a couple of steps back because you have almost the same. So you have to link your substitution to a company code and to a calling point, and you have to activate it. So you now have 4 different calling points, again on the document header, on the line item, and maybe on the complete document, and additional calling point, cost of sales accounting. So they can decide. And for the activation, you have the same 3 options. You can set it to inactive, to active, and to active no badge input. And yeah, if you've created one entry, then under environment, there you can move over to the substitutions, or you can change it with double click. Within here, basically, again, you have to create one substitution consisting at least of 1 step, and a step consists of a prerequisite and the substitution itself. And again, the same for the validation, that you define basically where should it happen, so in what kind of application area, and then when, so the calling point, then what should be substituted, so yeah, substituted, and for the assignment for the prerequisite for what kind of organizational unit, for what kind of data. And within the prerequisite, again, you have your tables. With double click, you can take them over, use some operators, some operands within the editor. You can change it. For example, here you can insert, you can delete it from the cursor, you can delete a single element, what you like to. And the substitution, so here you define what should be replaced, so what should be the new value. It's simple as it is. So, and yeah, great. Again, for the substitutions, you can test this as well with the substitution simulate functionality. Yeah, this is really, really great. For the substitutions under extras, they can also activate a trace. So once you execute the substitution, for example, here in the FB70 transaction, there you can directly see after making the changes what are the outcomes for the substitutions and so on. And yeah, basically, that is, I think, the most important to show you, to explain you, to use validation and substitutions in SPFI and CO. If you have any questions left, please put them in the comment section. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Please support my work, support this channel by subscribing this YouTube channel, and not to miss great upcoming videos. Thank you so much, and then see you in the next video.